Jer si milostivi čovekoljubiv Bog i tebi slavu uznosimo, Otcu i Sinu i Svetome Duhu, sada i u vekove vekova.
In a world of shadows and secrets untold, where primeval stories make the brave go cold, mighty gods are high and realms below, whispers of legends that shape each soul. And nightmarish dreams, cryptids lurking, nothing's as it seems, giants walking, angels and demons fight, only truth can bring the light. Through the echoes of time the tales unfold, mysteries arise as the prophecies are foretold, from valiant knights to buried treasure, this podcast brings nothing but pleasure. Welcome to mysteries and majesty. Study with us, and don't be a travesty. Theology, mythology, fantasy, and horror. Dungeons and dragons, Skyrim and Mordor. And Mordor, the powers haunt the evening, in gothic castles where they're screaming. Wizards cast spells in their towers tonight, exploiting enigmas hidden from our sight. Archaeologists make excavations deep of the ancient tombs where pharaohs sleep. In the dust of ages we chronicles keep, storytelling's power of monsters that creep. Mysteries and majesty is the place for you to learn about this haunted space. From scholarship to manuscripts of old, unlock the secrets of wisdom and gold.
Blessed evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 109 on 3M channel, which is more than just like a nerdy podcast or just like a streaming channel. It's actually a humble, small ministry channel that is giving glory to Christ, and everything we do, including in our Friday or Saturday evening sessions, when we analyze video games and try to give biblical perspective, we try to draw the audience to Christ, because behind every storytelling, because behind every lore, behind each of these creativity that game designers are making, there is always some spiritual or religious theme. That being said, I was waiting anxiously almost to analyze last Epoch for a while, because it was announced several years ago, and early access was announced back then, and people, especially hardcore gamers that love action RPG games, were so excited when it came to this title. Then COVID came and all that nonsense, and then at the beginning of this year, finally the full version of the game came out. And even though it came out almost a year ago, people still talk about the game. People still play massively this game. And when I watched the gameplay from the channel, and I would ask also to subscribe to their channel as well, that we are sharing their gameplay file. I was amazed, and I think this will be easily one of my favorite games, not just of the year, but of about 10 games that we covered on the channel. I think this is how Diablo 4 was supposed to look like. It's a really good action RPG game seen from that bird's eye perspective. PJ, before we start assessing the game, why do you like this genre of games or subgenre of RPG games? I know this is one of my favorite type of games, but what about you?
So yes, I don't know how much I'm going to love watching this game, but playing this game or playing games like this is one of my favorite things to do, or favorite genres, only because it's got that Diablo nostalgia throwback. And I think Diablo was one of those pinnacle games that just kind of hooked people into that hack slash RPG dungeon delve kind of game. And this one checks those boxes. I mean, even the interface reminds you of Diablo, and it's just visually beautifully, done. I haven't seen all the levels and every place they've gone to, but the places I've kind of skipped through, I was like, wow, I can see myself getting lost in this game for quite a few hours.
Yeah. See, Diablo is one of those games that propel games like this to be made by different studios. And sometimes it can be humiliating, but also amazing when you see sometimes that the pupil, the student, is doing better than the master, than the grand teacher, or however you want to call someone. So when I was looking at this game, I'm like, man, this reminds me, of course, the graphics is amazing, but and stuff like that. But I'm like, it has that soul, to speak, the atmosphere of those old RPG games. And I'm like, why they don't make games like this more? And I want to start covering more games of this genre, because again, this is one of my favorite type of games. I also love RPG games, which will be, which can be shooting, like Gears of War, but also a little bit more RPG elements where the camera is behind your back and you don't have to have guns, you can have swords. I also love stuff like that, like not necessarily Souls-like games like Elden Ring, but like Witcher. So if you would ask me what are my favorite type of games, I would say, something like that, where it's like you have a quest, you're this hero. I mean, you can choose your race, your class, and you're just going there and advancing, you're opening those treasure chests, and you're just like, meeting friends and foes along the way. And as the story unravels, it's almost like you're there. You get to experience all these beauties of the universe. Many times you're like in these creepy places in the dungeons. You're like, wow, it's like I better hurry. And when you feel like you're surrounded by gazillion enemies, because RPG games usually have hordes sent your way, but they're bosses. Yeah, it's like your heart is actually like you don't even see many times what you're killing. You're just clicking like
just mashing, just right.
Yeah, like Hulk smash, like just kill, and go to the next level. So I mean, I understand this may not be for everyone, but I just get hooked up to these games. That being said, let me just share, and we'll be watching with the speed 125. And again, please subscribe to this channel, LA Cry. And this is the first video we'll be sharing from this channel. So yeah, let's enjoy. Okay, pay attention. There's no barbarian. There's no paladin. They're not basic. They're not regular classes as usual.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's something called Primaralist.
There was darkness. Only the terror, myself, and the void. I was content with nothing. She dreamt of light, of life, of humanity. We disagreed. And yet, in her world, there were gods. Mujasa of the desert, Lagon of the sea, Rye of the endless skies, and Hierots of the frozen tundra. But fate stole Ekera away. Without her, there was conflict, then wars. In the end, it was Rye who sought to outshine the sun that would pull the world into his flame. Caught within Raye's gaze were the Keepers, an order sworn to protect Eterra's memory and the power it still holds. They were joined by someone unexpected, a traveler, willing to walk into the flames of war. But why? Was it honor they sought? Power? Redemption? Or was this fate? Perhaps. But no story is quite that simple.
I can still feel the restless spirits of my family.
Whenever I see in-action RPG games, red is for health, blue is for mana, I always think of Diablo 1.
Yeah, and just the Just the nostalgia of the red and blue orbs on the side, and
Yeah.
the same map type, everything.
So see, because he opted for this race, for this class, now he's followed by one
Traveler.
animal.
Our Heoborian allies informed us that you will attend the peace talks. Raya's war has reached our lands, and we are in need of aid. As keepers, we avoid conflict. We're dedicated to the goddess Atera's memory. That is, until Raya forced our hand. He wishes to destroy us and steal Atera's legacy. We can't let that happen. We need Herot's help. Your help.
PJ, there were games that were coming out 20, 30 years ago where they introduced that you were able to lead several members of your group. And while that's fascinating and amazing, it may help you with your quests, usually games tend to be even more harder, and the number of enemies that come your way would be multiplied many times because you're now leading 4, 5, 6 people or creatures with you. But it's also harder in a way and more responsible for you as the main character because you have to deal with their energy, with their health, equipping them. And it's not always easy to focus on your team members because you're always looking first and foremost at your own hero. So I don't know if you played games like this before, but man, that can be very challenging.
Have you you ever played the old Dungeon Siege? It was released by Microsoft.
It sounds so familiar. I would dare to say yes, even though I don't remember anything.
It was very much like this. It was a little more open world, less railroad. But you were the main character, whatever you chose. But you would pick up party members, kind of like Baldur's Gate 3, and try to keep those people alive. And you could equip them with whatever you find, like you can in this game. So yeah, when you start managing multi-characters like that, plus hordes and hordes and hordes of enemies, it gets a little complicated.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I would lose easily one of those, team members with me that I'm leading because again, you're primarily focusing on yourself, but now you have to make sure they have enough mana and energy and the strongest weapons they can, and it's almost like you're babysitting them, because you're leading all these animals or cryptids or mutants, whatever. In this case, I think they're mostly animals. And as we will see later, he starts, having more and more animals with him.
Yeah.
So the game will just get better and better.
Have you you ever played Gauntlet on Nintendo?
No, I never had Nintendo.
Okay, that's I think that's kind of where this genre spawned from, because you were literally like in like a 8-pixel dungeon that was like, and you just went off the screen and it loaded like 1,000 more enemies, and you were like an elf or a wizard or a fighter, and you were just demolishing hordes of enemies until you died.
We handle it. They left. What good are we if we can't? Sorry, I just met you. It's been a long road.
I honestly think that this is the game most RPG lovers should get, and I think this will be easily one of my favorite games of this year, but not just this year. I think even last few years or several years. There are not too many games that came out in action RPG genre, except Diablo 4. We're waiting for the Path of Exile 2, but not many games came out from this subgenre that were like so good. And I know when we were talking last week, hey PJ, which game would you like to analyze for today? And I gave you like 2 titles, and you're like, definitely Last Epoch. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And man, when I was watching the gameplay earlier today, I was like, wow, it's such a good game.
Yeah. And I think I had told you it's on sale right now on Steam. I know you said you don't really download from Steam, but I think it was like $6, almost $7.
Oh my gosh, that's like a price of a coffee.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I purchased it. I just haven't downloaded it yet.
Honestly, this type of game, even with a sale, I don't think I would sell for less than $15. Because I mean, dude, they needed a few years to perfect it. They had to wait because of COVID. I don't know how much money they lost. It's a good game. Less than 12, $15, even on a sale. I mean, it's a steal. $6, that's nothing.
Yeah, do you know if they have like DLC content and stuff?
I'm not sure.
I mean, how they make money is they add new classes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they do have DLC. Some of those are called Reaper's Cold Portal, then Death Toll Back Piece, the Imperial EIQI. Yeah, there are a few different kind of expansions, DLCs. Yeah, man, it seems like they'll be you'll be spending tons of time with the game.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Where'd you learn to fight?
Did you? I like the sarcasm in games and jokes. Where did you learn to fight? It's like provoking your enemy.
Yeah, and I like how it's just like a hack or slash. So you're just annihilating enemies with a blow on the occasion. You know, you need a stronger hit, but
Quick, before it reaches town.
this is the effect that Dungeons and Dragons 4 tried to copy, like the actual tabletop game, and they were trying to duplicate like this kind of feeling in that game,
We're almost there.
and it just failed miserably because you can't duplicate this outside of a video game.
Man, are those like golden ores? It looks so good.
Difficult to track. My observations reveal the truth. Their camps are neither chosen nor abandoned on a whim. There's a pattern to how they scurry. I instructed my soldiers to investigate the abandoned camps. Invariably, they're near shrines devoted to the eldest of gods. Each one was as empty as the last, save for meager signs of the keeper's presence. They're not guarding the ruins. They're traveling between them, over and over. They must be moving with them. It'll be as simple as burning these vermin to ash. Raya wills it.
You know what? This when I see a good RPG game that has really good atmosphere, interesting graphics, even though graphics in this type of games is not the most important. When the storyline is really, really creative, all these things give me a good material if I want to write my own novel, or if I want to create my own story, or if I even I would dare to say, even if you're a theologian or a preacher, and sometimes when preachers give a lot of illustrations every Sunday, right? And they tend to cover and mention usually famous names, like these type of games. When you're going usually for the good cause, you're fighting evil, right? You're fighting all these demons and monsters and God. And a lot of it, like it's so deep, it's so spiritual. It's like it's this primordial fight of evil, good and evil, that it's not just biblical, right? This is in so many myths and religions, and it's in all of us. Like all of us are growing up, especially boys, right? We're all growing up like, I wanna be a hero. I want to be someone that will be saving the day, saving the princess, saving my family, the country. Like there's something in us heroic that I think God bestowed in our hearts, in our souls, to be righteous, to be knightly, right? Not to be corrupted, not to be evil. So it's type of things
Whatever secrets the
I
keepers
would
hold,
not blame
I'm sure Rye wants
a
them.
teacher or a preacher or a
Now,
pastor
the
if
Keeper
they
Council.
start introducing more like
Speaking of, I must
when
head
they
there
was,
now.
during the sermons,
I'll see
and
you
when it
shortly.
comes to the illustrations part, if they would start mentioning the games, because games are part of art. Games are not just for fun, not just something to waste time. They're officially being recognized as a type of art for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years. So like for
Right.
me, if someone my pastor would be like, okay, I understand they will not be able to mention just any game because it may look them bad in front of the people. Oh, you're playing that, I understand. But like sometimes, like why not mentioning even a game or a movie, like a TV show? It's like, it's like we don't have to be ashamed. We're not doing something evil. And for me, things like this, like just check out all this weapon, all this armor. When I look at all of that, all of those details I've been mentioning, it really inspires me. It's almost like if I can teleport myself in a world like that. So, like,
Yeah,
why
right.
not even mentioning this in a sermon or in a theology paper, a research paper, something like that? I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I can be weird with my imagination, but I love these things. Why not?
Grail was
Why
the
not
testimony of your
bring
battle.
together mythology,
Me,
fantasy, and
one of the
theology
Keeper's Council.
together? Why
One
not?
of two.
Yeah. Well, because it helps you understand everything. Like if you, like you're saying, if you relate
And he's not here.
these games to your theology, it helps you understand things that you can't understand
They've
apart from
inherited
each other.
Terra's history, and right now they're in danger. Not much,
And I
I'm
think that
afraid.
sometimes we can be too
We'll discuss it after our
legalistic
alliance.
if we would see something. Oh, where's
I'm
that in the
sorry.
Bible?
This
Oh,
is how it must
well,
be.
how this?
There's secrecy
How can I
keeps me safe.
reconcile this
Even now, you must
worldview from a
ensure
novel
all
or
of
from
our
a
secret
movie or
vaults.
from a TV show or
I've
from
already
a
asked
video
Grail to
game
check
with
one
the
down in the
Bible?
mountains.
But guess what? You
There's
don't have to
another
reconcile
hall
everything.
with
Not
officers.
everything has to be mentioned in
Could
the
you
Bible. Bible is
make
not
sure
that
he's
big
safe?
of a book, right?
There's word
Right.
of rock patrolling the
It's
skies.
like, why don't you just
Please,
enjoy
our
creativity and
alliance is
fantasy
secure.
and see
We're
how
afraid.
the author, the
Is our
creator
friend.
of this book or this video game,
Sounds like this is where the
mimics
park is.
God as the
Good luck,
grand
old man.
creator of
Yes. Something you
everything.
need?
And how
Right.
this
Work
creator
for
of
him.
like
I'm
this
his champion.
universe
Why?
in the video
It
game,
means
in
I
Last
fought
Epoch,
hard and climbed
has
my way to the
created good
top.
and evil,
Gerard
all those
himself taught me
tasks,
everything I
all
know.
those quests,
As such,
all
I
those
dedicate
weaponry, all
myself
that,
to him.
even magic.
Accidentally
Imagine
with
magic
him.
is not magic.
Because he saved me.
Imagine that magic is
When I lacked
something
purpose, he
spiritual
was
that
there.
you can use
He made me what I
for
am.
good or for bad to help
The
people, maybe
person who's
kill
going to
them,
end
or
this
encourage them,
Take
comfort
Ryan
them as a
down
spiritual gift,
and make him
or
rue
you
the
can
day
use
he
it,
dared mess with us.
see it as a parallel as you cursing someone, cussing someone, hating someone, wishing them to die, whatever. So it's like, I think if we are creative enough, there's so many tools out there, even in the so-called secular world, right, that we can use and we can spiritualize them and
Right.
help even our kids. If you work as a youth worker, working in the church with kids, you don't have to just, if you're a youth pastor or something, you don't have just to tell them, oh, I don't play video games, or maybe I just play racing games, sports games, something realistic. But what when they come and ask you a question about, like, hey, pastor, youth pastor, how do you see magic? How do you see spells in video games? How do you see monsters? How do you see God? It's easy to dismiss all of that and say, well, it's just imagination, it's garbage.
Right.
But what if you get on their level and be excited as the kids are when it comes to all this, new world, like new beasts, new perspectives, new imagination, new atmosphere. Like try to be on their level and they try them from that level and say, see, well, this reminds me of the Bible, even though not everything in the game is in the Bible, but
Right.
let me parallel and tell you so you can see the video game through different eyes.
Right.
I mean, if you accept and receive a child or a teenager that comes to you like that, man, they will learn to come to you regardless of what, even if they're sinning, even
Yep.
if they're having troubles with their faith, even if they don't read the Bible or pray all the time, they'll know that you're there for them. They trust you. You're not dismissing their questions, their passions, their desires. They'll come to you for even more questions. If you dismiss them for something like a video game as a garbage or even sinful, as
Right.
some fundamentalists would be, then you can lose that kid. They can turn out, from faith, and they can become a hardcore atheist and I meet a lot of those online. They're like, yeah, I grew up in a church and then this happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
That's my story. Yeah. That's my
See?
story. Yeah.
See, and that's so sad. And I understand you cannot pull people and keep them in the church or in faith if they don't want to. But what if it's our attitude that sometimes drives people out of church for so many different reasons? including hobbies, mythology, fantasy, fiction, stuff like that, questions.
Yeah,
If they're not met, then kids will go somewhere else where they feel welcome and loved.
that's right. And they're going to get that information from people who are willing to share it. And it's like you're saying, if somebody went to you with questions of a video game in this instance, and you turn them away because it's not worth your time, well, you could have just gave that person a key to help their mind understand what they're playing through a biblical lens, but you didn't. You just told them to go away. So they're going to go get those answers from the world. And that was my problem, not with video games, but just with life, and I started seeing those worlds, and I didn't see fantasy and mythology and all that through a biblical lens. I saw it through these were the gods of old, whether they were real or not, but I didn't ever correlate it to, these are the princes and principalities and the virtues. And I didn't, I never correlated that, so that's kind of, I guess, what, my current ministry is trying to bring all that to the forefront for kids to start questioning these things and understand them. And even when it's like made up mythology like this, all those ideas we're stealing from something, right? So it's, these gods are not real and they're not in our mythology, but I guarantee if you took these deities that were in here and we traced what their archetype, like, we could find these deities on earth that somebody worshipped,
That's a good point, because many of them are coming either from Middle East, Egypt, Nordic religions, or Greco-Roman mythology. Maybe
Right.
sometimes even Chinese, like with the case of Wukong. So it's like the question is, well, yeah, we see imaginary beasts, but like you said, there's usually something that the authors of games find inspirational from the original
Right.
monster or original god with small g, and based on that they made this video game, or they made this novel. So how about we trace the origins, and then when we go and speak with our kids, either I don't have kids, but as a religious parent or in the church, if we're working with kids or with teenagers, and we come and tell them, well, yeah, I can explain you why, I can give you the context, I can give you the root, and then the kid knows. The kid knows, oh, I can play the game without feeling guilty, but I understand who these creatures and these gods are. So without better understanding, the kid can better understand even the Bible, or maybe can play the game even with more enjoyment, instead of maybe feeling like bad, or even their parents feeling like, you know what, they're wasting time, but it's better for them to play games than being outside when it's like dangerous and stuff like that happens. That's not really the reason why your kid should play games. Your
Right.
kid should play game because it can develop so many skills, and they can enjoy, but also because there is a storyline and spiritual / religious background and theme behind all of these games. So if you will get to know these things as a youth pastor or maybe as a parent, and then so to call preach to your kids, they will enjoy. They will feel your support. It's like,
Right.
man, we all want to feel that someone is paying attention to us. We feel supported and loved, and like, yeah, I want to even create a better bond with your mom and dad, or youth pastor, or cousin, or anyone, right? And this is why this channel exists. On Fridays or Saturdays nights, we cover video games, which is not usually super popular. But guess what? We do this so we can give some spiritual background, and also, yes, enjoy the game in general, and point all those kids who are watching this throughout the world. Hey, guess what? The one who designed the game is mimicking the one who made the universe. So we would like you to get to know him. So
Right.
that's the purpose.
Right. And he built the best game of all.
Yeah, real-time game. Like
Yeah,
real-time
real life. Right. It's the hardest one ever.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so here is the first like mini boss.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce this. Styriax, the Burning Sky.
Yeah, it's that bird creature,
Yeah.
which also has a mythological root. I forgot what they're called, but they have those in Mesopotamian mythology.
Yeah, see, whenever I see like a big owl or a huge bird or a creature that resembles a humanoid and can fly. I'm always thinking about Lilith, Mothman, stuff like that. Lilith is in the Bible only a little bit, but in the Jewish religion, is portrayed as this feminine, very powerful demon, right? And
Right.
then, like, again, we just saw the first mini boss. Well, if we were related to Lilith, then guess what? We can get the background and the context, and then you can enjoy the game even more.
Yep. And then you could feel even better because you just defeated her.
Yes. Yeah, in all these games, you're defeating millions of demons and monsters. So it's like, man, when you're done and exit after playing for a couple of hours, and when you go to bed or do something else, you feel like, man, I contributed to defeating some evil in this world.
Right. Right. I think that's a huge part of. I don't know about, girls and guys different when they play video games, but like you're saying, I think there's something innately born into us that wants to be victorious, that wants to excel, that wants to conquer evil. And not all video games, but the majority of video games, you're always playing the hero archetype out to set things right and to basically do everything our Savior set out to do for us. So we're just trying to mirror his image in whatever the game or sometimes it's violent, but the point is that you're trying to conquer evil and make the world a better place.
Yeah, I love what you said. We're mimicking the Savior. Yes, and this is why so many stories of old that were not even inspired by Jesus' story, but if you see them, they originate from different parts of the world, you can easily see that in some way they mimic Jesus' story. It's like there's this kind of deity or half deity that comes and conquers the evil, such a powerful entity that no one else can. This person becomes almost immortal because, and it's admired by everyone else because no one else could defeat such an evil. But now, the hero comes and he's like this special person with special weapons. And guess what? Well, that's all pointing to Christ. And
it's all right.
But
it's his story.
Understand how in every culture, regardless of age, race, continent, geography, history, what time did it happen? It just says that there's something that God put in our hearts that we crave for this archetype story that we tell to our kids, that even the old ones would tell around the campfires to their kids and their grandkids. It just shows to me that there's something in our hearts that God put throughout the whole globe. Like it's a very similar story that we're craving for this to be true. We're desiring for this so-called Savior to come and save us from these demons and monsters. Like we crave this. Right. Ancient ones were craving for this. For them, it was a story, or maybe more than a story. They were more spiritual than us. But like in all these stories, you see this unifying theme of this Savior, a special person who is coming to save us, to save the day, and then Jesus comes on the scene and he fulfills all those ancient expectations. Right. Again, there's no only him.
Right. That's 100%. I can't add anything to that.
And for Jesus, he defeated several bosses. He had to defeat the death, he defeated sin, and he defeated devil. So Jesus was going through many of these little, levels of RPG games until he decided the final boss, and he was like, "Goodbye, I'll be back."
Right.
Like Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.
Yep. You got 33 years of grinding, and then time for the epic boss fight.
Impossible.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'll be fast forwarding here. Yes.
Yeah, this is a 12-hour playthrough, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 and a half. Oh, okay. Oh, his bear is all armored now.
Yeah. And he's getting more now, or it will be getting soon more of those animals following him.
Yeah, not everything's squishy now. See, that's when it gets to button mashing because you have so much going on. Your ability covers you whole. You don't know what you're targeting. You're just mashing.
Yeah, I was talking about that a little bit earlier. Sometimes when you're surrounded by those ports, you don't. You're just clicking with the mouse because you don't want to. You don't want to be killed. You don't want to die.
Yeah, yeah. You picked up this rare item, then you die in the dungeon, and you're like, no.
Yeah. Can you find it again?
Yeah, but I don't know in this one, but in Diablo, everything's got a drop percentage.
Ooh, I like the creativity of these mini bosses.
Yeah, so in that reminds me of Beholder in Dungeons and Dragons, those little eye orbs with the tentacles.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, he's getting ranged attacked and everything at once now.
And see, for everyone who played this type of games, they know if an item is white color, yeah, no biggie. Blue, a little bit stronger. But like if it's orangish, brownish, or yellowish, or dark blue, these are usually, well, dark blue isn't that special, but these other colors, they're usually something rare items are like special.
Orange is like legendary and
yeah. Or epic or something.
Yeah. And he's progressing because like he's just leaving stuff down, and that's when you get to like, oh, I don't need that. I don't even need to sell it. I got plenty of gold. And
but look at this little small tornadoes he calls them. Right, they're very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so far he doesn't seem to have any trouble defeating any enemy.
Yeah, I mean his life's not even really dropping.
Yeah. The problem is he has good armor, so good for him.
Aid me.
Oh, can you see the lower levels when he's passing? That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like 3 floors down. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I guess it's not like a Beholder, but it's still pretty cool.
In this type of games, usually it's a bigger problem to fit everything into your inventory, and finding one of those trades people where you can just sell what you don't need so you can get money to buy something better and go back to the place where you left those better stuff to put it back in your inventory. That can be more challenging than sometimes defeating the big boss.
Yeah. I can't remember, but I think in Diablo, once you left the dungeon, all that loot disappeared, or was it still there?
Oh my gosh, I played Diablo so long ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
See, he's like not even taking those blue items. Like, I'm just gonna be grabbing those orange and yellow ones.
Yeah, I'm already super epic, taking the whole level on at once. Like, I guess its health regen is just off the charts. But I mean, you shouldn't be super squishy in a hack and slash game,
I would assume that his animals also have this power to regenerate, because I don't see that the main character is killing his pets at any time. I don't see that he's clicking anything to regenerate them. So I would assume they have something that regenerates their own energy. Oh yeah, he got
Uh,
he got that belt, another epic item. That's cool.
just leaving it all. Didn't even pick up the gold.
But you know what? Do you remember that in this type of games, also in regular RPG games, and this can be usually one of those most difficult and challenging quests. That you are supposed to get the full armor of some dead hero from centuries or thousands of years ago that can give you special advantage when you're dealing with the final boss. And that can take you easily days and weeks just to find the full armor, including the weapon. But once when you find it, you're like, dude, I'm ready for the final boss.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and sometimes like I miss the days where there wasn't the internet where you could go and search where these people are and stuff, where you literally had to put the time into the game, you know?
Yes.
And game backs in the day were not so glitchy and full with bugs like now. Like you get the game and that's it. You don't just update every 2-3 days. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, now everything's beta, alpha, like play our broken game until we release it, you know?
Yeah.
And like
then
you're saying,
and patch it, fix it.
Yeah.
Like Cyberpunk, it needed 2-3 years to be perfected.
yeah. I didn't play it when it launched with that whole debacle.
Me neither.
But
yeah.
I got it not that long after, I think. It was like a month or two after it launched.
No, I waited for version 2.0. I waited like a couple of years.
No, oh wow. No, I waited till they patched the whole man issue.
Okay,
it
no,
was,
we're not covering Cyberpunk, but have you ever found out if there's any alternative ending where the main hero survived? I don't know.
Well, you have to play and find out.
No, I did play. I finished.
Oh.
I mean, because everyone gets a different ending based on your previous choices.
Yeah.
In my case, my I forgot the name of the
V.
character.
Yeah.
But so in my ending, he's launched with a space rocket. He's launched into space, and then he walks out, jumps into space, he loses oxygen, and he dies. That was my ending.
Oh, okay.
What was your ending? Tell me.
Yeah, it was something like that. I'll record it for you and send it to you.
No,
Like I said,
I was really curious if the game, if every ending is so dark.
it's well, let me see. Yeah, okay. There's four different endings.
Okay.
But no, the ending you say, I didn't get at all. So I haven't seen it. I haven't looked up the endings, so I don't know what they all are.
Okay. Man, this is so packed with so many enemies. You can't even see when he's swinging. He just
Right. It's just like a blur. Like
you just hear the audio effects and like see everyone is dead around him.
oh, new helmet.
So PJ, I know we still have an hour to cover more, but so far, what is your impression of the game?
Man, this game is flawless. Yeah, right. This is easily a 9 out of 10, and it's just because I haven't played it yet.
Easily 9, yeah.
What do you think you would play on this?
Oh, you mean what class?
Yeah.
I will not pick one of those two. I don't like, wizards, necromancers, stuff like that, or those who usually sneak. And I like real weapons. I like swords. Give me a mace, give me a battle axe, give me something like that. So my choice would be always between a knight, a barbarian, something like this, warrior.
I think my go-to is ranged, so I tend to like ranged classes. But there is something about just being in there in a tank and just getting wreck and shop, you know.
Yeah, but see, from those 4 classes from the beginning, I didn't see anything ranged.
Me neither. I didn't either. It was a beastmaster, a shaman, a druid, and I don't remember what the other one was.
Yeah. Well, the one that he picked at the beginning, I forgot the race. Yeah. I think I may choose Beastmaster. I don't know. Reminds me of that old movie. Actually, there was a sequel too in the 80s, right?
Yeah, that was an awesome movie. It was Ferret, his ferret and his hawk. Yeah.
Yeah, and the blonde actor. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that Dolph Lundgren?
No.
No,
no, it was another guy, not very famous, but
he should have been. That was awesome movies.
Yeah.
Give me a second, buddy.
Yeah. So I skipped a scene about 20 minutes I wanted to show earlier, so I'm going to go there now. Okay. So, like in many RPG games, there's so many mini bosses, right? And when we cover this type of games, I usually try to find segments where, you know, they're more interesting to fight.
Reaching me was impressive, but it's mine. Core member wing.
Look at this dude. That's what I skipped, and I wanted to go back.
Epoch is ours! Raya, aid me!
Sorry, buddy. Give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
Now get me out of here!
Oh, my knees. For such large creatures, those ospreys all build a tiny cage. I will be, thanks to you. Let me just grab these. There. The shards of the Epoch are safe. I was worried for a moment. The Epoch. Oh, it's Atara's most sacred artifact, holding great power. The power to travel through time. If Raya were to get his talons on it, he would surely win the war. More than that, he'd be untouchable. Just one. Each shard is part of the whole. We keep them separated for protection. This responsibility makes the keepers what we are. 2 of them, the one I keep with me and the one from the vault. And the third should be back at camp by now. Lena sent him after it, alone. No, there's no time. The alternative would be to leave one with Lena, drawing the Ostrix's attention to her. No, I could not let that happen. Yes, though right now with Raya at our heels, vaults are no longer enough. Now, I find a new course of action. Take the Epoch somewhere Raya can't reach. Which, speaking of, let's head back to camp. I must reach Lena at once.
Okay, so he's about to activate this.
Suitable provisions for Ember Wing. prey in this area upset a Drake's stomach. Alroth in particular. Could I would simply feed him soldiers that question our bond. I admit, I have a bias for the creature. He's
Yeah, you didn't miss
more
much. He
reliable than our
defeated
father, my
that mini
command.
boss and he talked to
Thus,
some like a
both been marred
merchant,
by
whatever, and
flames.
now he's about
While
to
my
actually
wounds showed me the path to
teleport
the
into
Epoch,
another
his
realm.
granted ascendance. Emboing was raised from his
Yeah,
ball.
I've been watching the whole time, just on the phone with my wife. She's having thermostat problems in the car.
I can once again feel the wind. Oh, how I've missed the limitless blue.
See, the I wouldn't say problem, but the challenge with this type of games is that they're so time consuming. This you don't play RPG game. It doesn't matter if it's action RPG game seen from the bird's eye perspective, like this one, or like Witcher 3 or Wukong. You don't play these games in several days. You don't finish them as fast as like regular shooting game, like first person shooter. If you want to play quests and side quests, in these type of games, it can take you easily months, unless you play 10 hours a day. Then
Right.
stop. But I mean, if you're a casual gamer and stuff like that, this can take your whole summer, summer break.
Now we must protect the Epoch. Find a way Soraya won't get to them. Not fully. Dinara left their secrets to us and to us alone. I have ideas, though Lena will disagree. Well, we are keepers after all, protectors of Itera's past, collectors of lost history.
Okay, I'm gonna
Do you think
export this convo a little
made a
bit.
mistake?
Okay.
Going through the motions?
I get bored by dialogues in games. Honestly,
Yeah, that's fine. Just skip through it.
No drastic times are upon us. No, you know about them too.
You can only skip through it in a review. You can't skip through it in the real game.
You might become part
No, like
of
for most of the time when I play games and there's a lot of dialogues, unless they're affecting my choices in the game, how it will develop. If I just have to hear the story, I'm like skip, escape. Just like let me go to the fighting.
Yeah.
Epoch's power. I'll finally be able to.
Alrighty. Finally, the ruined future.
What is this place? The spirits, they are in pain.
Ooh, these are like those creatures from was it Revelation 9? They're coming from the abyss.
Yeah, right.
And he had some. I don't know if he altered his battle axe, so it just came to be. Maybe it's an epic item, but whenever he swings and demolishes his enemy, there's some special effect. You can see how, like the earth is like destroyed, or there's like this magic in the air, or something after he demolishes someone. You can see there's always some effect with the battle axe.
Right.
PJ, did you watch the Stranger Things?
Impossible. Impossible.
Tara, watch over you.
I hate to do this. I gotta go get my wife. She's stranded.
Oh, well, that's okay because your wife is more important. So yeah, no worries.
But she's right down the road. I might be back before her stream's done.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
No
Love
worries.
you, brother. I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. Love you. God bless.
Gods.
Okay. I was just about to ask PJ, but since he's gone, I was just about to say that this segment reminds me of the Stranger Things, with all those creatures coming out, where reality seems to be twisted. You hear those unearthly voices and sounds that are making you think about something coming from the other side. That's just another aspect for me to realize how many details they pay attention when they're making this game. So once again, it's easily 9 out of 10. I would recommend this game in a heartbeat, and that doesn't happen every day.
You stupid one. Leave me.
So even these accents are just contributing to the overall atmosphere, because this kingdom, the map, is so vast, and as the main character travels from one part of the map to another one, he meets these people with different accents and dialects, and I think it just contributes to the overall atmosphere, makes it more realistic. Oh wow, that was so good, creepy but good. Hmm. And even the name of these monsters, Void Despair. I mean, how creative you have to be to come up with such a name. Just like so cool. Hmm.
Yes?
Gods be with you.
Okay, they say gods, world, gods will be with you. Okay.
Try not to hurt yourself.
Stay safe.
Split Greatsword of Glory. That's such a cool name. Okay, it's getting better. his armor. Oh my god. Yes. It just unlocked Maelstrom. Ooh, that's such a cool move. Usually for barbarians, maybe even paladins and knights. That was cool. Okay, pull the lever. The bridge is coming down. And you can see those lights in the level below him. It's so cool.
Farewell.
Oh my god. This is amazing. Can you imagine if they will be making a TV show based on this video game alone? That would be such amazing. And of course, in this case, I would love if the video game producers would be working together with the TV show producers, because TV show producers tend to twist so many things from original games or books. Many times fans are upset. So this would be a good good story to make a movie or TV show about. All these monsters. Ooh. Check out even this level. How many different lights and shadows and colors are all just on one screen? It's really done well. I would imagine after clicking 5,000 times to kill those most basic annoying enemies that pop out every 5 seconds will be boring in a while.
What brings you here?
But still, that's in every RPG game. That's good.
Impossible.
Okay, we'll be skipping through. Okay, he's getting enhanced. Okay, let's skip to 6 hours and 32 minutes. Unrelenting giant scorpion. That's a cool name. Okay. It's a cool looking enemy. And if you like biblical things, you know you have authority to step on scorpions and snakes, right? So it's a good allegory. Man, I love this like thunder, electricity that is combined. Like when you're like killing enemies, it just pops out. It's like a sign of power and dominance. I love it. Okay, so now he's leading 3 or 4 these animals with him. It's a bear, 2 wolves, and I don't know if there's another entity. Okay, he just killed Hydra, a smaller one. It's so funny how, as they kill the enemies, you can't even read their names. It's like you see it for a second, boom, disappears because they're dead. Ooh. Man, he demolished that mini giant in like 5 seconds. And I don't know if it's just me, but here I see another spiritual perspective. Imagine you enter all these different parts of the map, all these different sections of the land, of this universe, and all around you is just death. But then here you come with your friends and you bring light, right? You defeat the darkness, you bring light, you produce light when you're fighting, and you bring life because you're there as a sort of mini messiah, bring the captives free, giving them hope, right? And once, in many games, once when you defeat the evil, even the land starts producing fruit and clouds disappear and like everything becomes sunny and bright and full of life and hope. So on many levels, games like this can speak to us truth of our spiritual existence. And again, this is what makes games even more beautiful and amazing to play. And interesting with skeletons and skeleton bones, I'm reminded again in the Bible when God out to the prophet speak to these, in the valley there were bones of dead people. So when God said to the prophet, speak life to these bones that they'll be resurrected, and he does. It's like a pre-imagery of the gospel, what the gospel would bring life to the dead ones, so they'll be resurrected. I don't mean in the afterlife, but in this life, we'll be resurrected in dead spirits to have this living spirits full of Christ's life and love and light. And I just saw skeletons, and when I saw their bones, I immediately switched to the Old Testament and remembered that passage. It's powerful. Titan Leech. I wonder in a spiritual way, as I'm observing this level, I'm just thinking, I'm thinking in a spiritual way, based on our mood, based on our words, based on our thoughts. Do we spread darkness around us just like these monsters do at our workplace, in our church, in our home, in our community? Do we sometimes spread darkness, even as people of faith? Because I know I'm not always the best example of Christ's love and light to these people. Sometimes I don't even want to talk to people. Sometimes I just want to be left alone and deal with my issues or problems or dreams and passions. I'm just thinking, like, how much do we spread light versus darkness in our life? You know, and people always see Christ in us. I don't think that will be always true for me, and there's no point of me lying. So it's another good parallel. Man, this guy annihilates every opponent so easily. Okay, I'll be fast forwarding again. Okay. So now they're in the part of the map with snow and ice. Man, that Ice Titan felt like it was nothing. When these icy spiders, they're so cool. But check this out. He can lead his scorpion with him in the group, right? Oh my gosh, I think this level is one of my favorite levels so far. When it comes to the creativity of the enemies, oh my gosh, that, and he just resurrected, okay. I would expect this mammoth to be more difficult to kill, but of course. Wow. Oh my gosh. Greetings. Okay. Yeah. They're so beautiful. Even though they're beasts, but they're so beautiful. Yeah, I think this level is one of the best ones so far. At least when it comes to the graphic design. Deep Harbor. Okay, so this is an underground level. Okay. You'll be trading with this lady.
Dinara's grace be with you.
We have a problem. Reaching Thetima will prove more complicated than we thought.
Yulia, that's my
forces are
friend's
here.
name.
It is
Yulia.
too dangerous to take the river, but other routes will take weeks. Are you insane? You would be fighting alone. You did well with the Wengari. Then, they're holed up in the pier. If you think you stand a chance, show no mercy.
I love that when he does it. check out his weapon. It's like a sickle, but it's like a powerful one, more enhanced one. It's probably very sharp too.
Yes. Don't lose your way.
Yeah, get your potion. He's like 700 in health. That's amazing. And this dude is like almost the angel of the death in the Old Testament. Wherever he goes, he just annihilates everything that moves. You move, you're dead. Basically, that's like his slogan. You move, you're dead. Go back and pick your yellow item. Yes. Okay, it was an axe. Ooh. Nice. He just became even stronger. Yeah, I would encourage everyone, since the game is on sale, it's like 1 cup of coffee. It's like, just go and buy it. Like, you will get all this. I mean, compare the prices of Diablo 4 in a game like this. You know, it's like, you will never get Diablo for $10 or less. You know, so just, I would say, support the game designers. They deserve it. This game makes me think of Titan Quest 2. That's another game of this genre that I'm highly anticipating to come out. Hopefully next year. Okay.
Can I help you? Don't lose your way.
And yeah, for the audience, if you guys have some desire that either Sean or TJ and me can cover on the podcast, let us know. It doesn't mean every proposal will be accepted, but you know, you can suggest some cool games within the last 10 years that came out, different genres that will be very interesting to cover. You know, you can always recommend something. Okay, I'll fast forward here again. Ooh, that's so powerful. Seafloor Coliseum. Okay. Yes, I remember this part when I was fast forwarding. Yes. This reminds me of this great either Cthulhu monster or Kraken or something like that from different mythologies and stories and novels. It looks so cool. And here, I don't know why, but I'm thinking also of another spiritual element. Imagine you're dealing with some big problem in your life or your own issue. Let's say it's an addiction to anything, and you cut one tentacle, one part of it in your life, and you think you're done, but other tentacles from different sources, from different ways, come your way to tempt you, to challenge, to provoke you. If you be good, you're always, and these tentacles come around you like Titan, like trying to choke you, to take life away from you, and so you'll become your slave, a slave to your addiction. Okay, so this entity is called Lagan or Lagon, depending on so many different ways you can pronounce this, and it's a god of storms. Yeah. By the way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos online. Please, you help us break the YouTube algorithm. Doesn't cost you anything, but it's encouraging for me to see whenever the channel grows. Man, this God of Storms has so much energy. It's like barely even losing anything. Oh my God. I almost feel like this is like the final boss because the fight is long and it's epic. I almost feel like this is the end of the game, even though it's not. So we're getting close.
Survive my storms. No, I have grown tired of this.
Yes.
Your skills entertain me, and for that you shall live. Now, why have you come? Oh.
Wow. So this dude can't even be killed. He was just entertaining. He was like, I'm bored of fights. You can go now have my blessing because you survived. Now carry on. I was like, this dude is it's almost unbeatable, like way out of this guy's league. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, and I'll be fast forwarding to the last 20 minutes or so of the game. Okay, so yeah, they're like 22 minutes, 23 minutes until the end.
You have no chance. No chance.
This seems a little bit like Egyptian mythology. So like the whole lore, the whole world building is so diverse, and I love it. Okay, they're going to the upper temple. Nice.
You won't see it.
Fighting impossible.
And if you pay attention, every level has, which is normal, every level has creatures that dominate that part of the map, right? So now there's snakes. And he's a little bit struggling with his energy level because of their poison and attacks, right? Ooh, this mini boss gave him so many epic and legendary items. That's cool. Man, that armor is amazing. Okay, and he also changed the last creature that follows him. It's not scorpion anymore. Now it's something like a leopard, like whatever that is. Looks almost like saber-toothed because of that long teeth it has in front. Mm. Very cool. Wow, that amulet actually helps his minions. That's how they're called in the game. His minions, those pets. It helps with their damage. Check out how the pavement, the floor looks like. It's gorgeous. It's golden and bluish slash purplish colors, shades. Ah, so beautiful. Man, those snakes are so fast. And this bear, I keep thinking about the bear. Where did the bear come from? Like, it just reminds me of that TV show and novel series. And I know that I know the title, but I forgot for a second. With Lila, one of the main characters, the girl. She's dark. I forgot the complete name of the series. His Dark Materials, was it? Something like that? When the fighting bear in the armor comes to help her. Yeah. That bear looks almost the same, like from His Dark Materials TV show.
Destroy them.
You won't see the sun.
Oh yeah. We'll be getting some nice legendary and epic items here. You can't even see everything. He's just done. I also like how this guy plays. Unbreakable kite shield of embers. That's cool. You have to be very creative when you give names to the armor and weapons and this kind of thing. It has to sound really epic.
All you will find here is your death.
Oh my gosh, this serpentine mini god, the mini boss is summoning so many creatures. In a way, it's like the great serpent of the Bible, right? Satan, the opponent, the great accuser, right? The devil. Wow. Look at his energy level. It just go from 800 to like 200 in a second or two, right? That's insane.
made me. Nothing can stop me.
Kill the snake.
Feel the
Kill the
spirits crying
serpent.
out in despair. However the void came here, let's drive it back.
Ooh, check out this creature, the future horror of the eye. Oh, like an eye. And it died, it just left there hanging at the edge. So cool. See, in the gaming market, when you're competing with thousands of other games, and you want people to buy your game, you have to pay attention to those small details, because that's the thing what sometimes makes people buy your game if they're especially tied to the budget. Sometimes those small details make people buy your game rather than someone else. So kudos to the team, doing really good job. I knew it was a good game, but especially with this last couple of levels, I'm very impressed, and that doesn't happen easily
What do you think
with the
you're
games we
doing,
cover.
my beautiful vessel maiden?
I am breaking the cycle. I refuse to be your sacrifice.
Disgraceful. Rage is unbecoming of you, child.
This is not rage. For millennia, the vessel maidens have died so you could live. Now feel the unending abyss of their despair.
What are you doing? No.
Why don't you show our guest the torment that now fills you?
What's happening? Get out of my mind!
Wow. Come down to the abyss and fight a snake that was oppressed spiritually and mentally against her own will. That's also something where we can spiritually relate to and learn something. Goddess of opulence.
Foul insect! Be gone! Be gone! Be gone! Foul insect!
That looks so good.
Be gone! Be gone! Foul insect!
That fire circle she makes looks so good. I mean, it's devastating, but it's really beautiful.
Foul insect! This is your doom!
Sense of greed, wow. Essence of opulence, okay. I'm wondering what's the title of the last one. Okay. That is, if I'm pronouncing correct.
Be gone!
So she's using all these
Foul insect!
all these things that can manipulate you or attack you or hurt you. Just in our life, if we allow greed or hatred
Gone!
or anything of that sort to oppress us and take over us, we'll become what we are being fed on. So, good lesson.
This is your doom!
Okay, we'll see if PJ finds time in the next
Gone!
10 minutes or so to come back to help us with the closure of this segment. If not, that's fine, because his family is more important than covering the video game.
Be gone! Foul insect! Be gone! No! Get out of my mind! Get out!
Yes, fight back. And of course, it got back to 100% energy. in a way, and I don't know why I'm thinking about this. I don't know if you guys ever hear or listen to the stories of exorcism. Sometimes exorcism works like in Jesus' case instantly, but sometimes pastors and priests don't have that, I won't say success, but they say it may take time. It can be hours before a person is being delivered from a demon. So we see this entity being possessed and saying, "Be gone, leave me." And then the hero is kind of kill the person that is being revived. Like you can't get rid of some demons, especially if it's a legion of demons. You can't get rid of them in a minute, in an instant. So this is interesting. When I'm listening to that kind of eyewitness testimonies of priests and other people saying, yeah, like it took us a while and it was few of us dealing with this person who was possessed and the person was speaking in demonic tongues that had supernatural strength. And he didn't leave out immediately after you said, "Be gone in the name of Jesus." It took a while. So I'm just thinking how that parallels this boss, probably the final boss. Almost done. Oh my god. Just keeps restoring the energy. Okay, like this. Dude, finally.
So hideous.
The Great Serpent is finished. Just like in the Bible.
No room.
Wow, he just got rid of all the old items, weapons, armor. Taking the better ones, hopefully. But if the game is over, like, why is he... what does he even care about getting better stuff? Unless if it's for the coming DLCs and expansions of the game. Because this game just covers the basic. This video covers just the basic.
This sorcery, or face my wrath.
This would be so much easier if you had died with her. No matter. I can still take what I need.
You think this is over? You know nothing of the power I've been given. Orobis showed me the way. All I needed was the key, and you brought it right to me. The power of the Epoch is mine.
Okay, so that was the whole game. I don't know if PJ will come back in the next couple of minutes, but even if he doesn't, that's fine. He has more important business to do. I just want to say when it came to this game, I really enjoyed, and I would agree with PJ that this was easily 9 out of 10 when it comes to the everything gaming, lore, design, creativity, graphics, atmosphere, soundtrack. Everything was like epic. I won't say 10 out of 10. I don't think many games deserve that title, but it's easily 9 out of 10. And if the sale is still on, that you can buy the game for 6, $7, go and support the game designer. They deserve this. I truly enjoyed, and I don't know why, but this RPG game led me to so many spiritual and theological slash biblical and religious parallels and topics. And again, if you're a pastor, if you're a parent, don't discourage your kids or kids in your church to play games, because by playing games, they can learn so much and they can enjoy the beauty and the creativity God gave to all of us. Some of us, like PJ, is making tabletop RPG. I mean, tabletop Christian
I won't say
games, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, some people use it to make music. Some people write poetry. Some people do the spoken word, whatever, dance for God, right? But in some cases, like now, you don't even have to be a believer to appreciate um, a phenomenal piece of art that comes to be expressed in a video game. So we see a whole team of people joining together and making such a phenomenal game, which they titled The Last Epoch. And as we saw, this is not the end. We can expect more and more story unwrapping in the coming DLCs, expansions, or maybe in The Last Epoch 2 if it comes. But yeah, like so far, I really enjoyed, especially the last 30 or 40 minutes of the game with all those different uh, diverse number of monsters and mini bosses. It was so done well, paying attention to small details, such an epic level of creativity. So for me, this was really one of the best games we covered on the channel. And again, learn if you're a parent or a pastor to assess and accept these games as something that kids and even adults love playing and doing. It's not always a form of escapism. Yes, it can be. Yes, and it can grow into fanaticism or something extreme if your kid or your husband, God forbid, plays 10 hours games every day. But also understand that there is more than just a game, or just people who are dealing with depression or maybe loneliness. They don't have friends. They find this hobby or way to express themselves and emotions. But also, please learn that all these levels, types of art, come with so many layers and levels of creativity and spiritual and theological aspects and story, that if you would sit down with your kids in your home or in the church and assess them together, maybe even play together, imagine all the questions, all the topics that you will be able to cover with those kids and correlate in a deeper level that you wouldn't be otherwise. And once when you put your ear there for the kids, so they will tell you why they like a certain game, you can always draw spiritual lessons and tell them, hey, yes, I like that too, and I see what you see. But did you know that? Boom, you got that kid for a long time. And if you would bond with them by playing games with them together, you can bond even more. And there's no reason for see everything secular as sinful or dark and ugly and ooh magic, ooh monsters, ooh no, it doesn't have to be like that. We can use things for good and turn them to be good, even if intentionally they were not meant to be, a topic for some theological or spiritual lesson. I'm just saying you can be creative and you can use things like this for the glory and honor of God. That being said, I welcome PJ back. PJ, thanks for coming back. When it comes to the closure of the episode, I hope everything is okay with your spouse. And again, you don't have to apologize because taking care of your family is always more important than doing anything on the podcast. But like what will be your closure, your final, your concluding moments and final thoughts when it comes to this game? And if you can add anything on the game with theology or the Bible, anything that is on your heart.
Yeah, I missed probably like the last 10 minutes of it because I have zero reception until I get to my driveway and hook to the Wi-Fi. So, I just got in and I was like, hopefully PJ will join us. And I'm like, I'm running to the bedroom. So,
oh yeah, when it said recently we have 10 minutes, I hope PJ will join us.
yeah, that's what so I don't even know what the end boss looked like. I heard, I think it was a female. I heard her, but
yeah, like some serpentine goddess. But when you were telling me you were running, I was imagining Forrest. You're like, run, Forrest,
yes,
run. You're like running for the game.
Up the stairs of the porch. Yeah.
So cool.
Jumped over my kid, run into the bathroom or into the bedroom. I still had YouTube playing over here. I'm trying to turn everything off.
You're like octopus with tentacles, like trying to do everything.
Yeah, trying to attack all these enemies at once, and I wasn't very successful. But no, I agree wholeheartedly on everything you're saying when it comes to video games and in all aspects of our life. That's how we should view everything. But video games tend to have like a love-hate relationship, and we get a lot of hate, mostly from, I think, the female side of things, not understanding that a male, this is kind of how we just kind of like woo-saw at the end of the day. But then, like my wife, like she doesn't play games, and I tried to get her to play a game once in our 20 years of marriage, and it was terrible. And she couldn't she can't she can't look and move at the same time. It's very, very Mario like when she's moving, so she's not a gamer, and when I get wrapped up in something like this and I'm trying to explain, like that literally took me an hour just to get across that level. Like she's like, she doesn't understand it, but so, games they're hard to sell, I think, to everybody who's not a gamer. If that makes sense. And when you're a gamer, that's kind of just innately born into you.
But I think this is with almost any hobby, anything you feel passionate, it can be
absolutely.
Books. When I try to sell quote unquote theology and books to people in my church, they're like, maybe cool, but not for most of them. That's not how they want to spend time. So I think it's like with most hobbies. That's like if someone would try to sell me quote unquote golf, like I'm like, yeah, maybe I can try, but I don't feel like pleasure in watching or playing. Not
it's not right. It doesn't interest me. I went to a driving range once in my life and I was terrible and never wanted to do it again. So it's like, so I understand that. But if you have gamers in your family, I guess I'm a little more liberal in what I allow in my household. And, I guess some Christians and fundamentalists for sure would be like, oh, how dare you kind of, how are you playing fantasy games and stuff? But I think, my history, and that I was really pushed away from people that could have told me these answers early in life, and they just kind of let me drown. So that kind of pushed me away. So in my family, like if we're going to watch a movie that I think, I'm not sure about this movie, we're going to watch it together. And then we're going to pause, and then we're going to talk about things, so I'm with them in that journey, and we're using that moment to coach, because you can't take the world away from people. The world's always going to be there. But if you don't equip these kids and these people and adults with the information of what this possibly could be, how these ties to this, and how we should see that in a biblical worldview, then they're just going to kind of wander around. So I think it's really important, as not just a father, with his children, but as brothers and sisters in Christ, to kind of tackle anything we see, even though it's a made-up game and a made-up world with made-up deities. We can always trace that back to our own life, our own spiritual journey, how God created us, how everything kind of went south real quick, and all these vying powers trying to just separate us from God. And we could put that, basically that is painted in every story ever told. And I think that's beautiful, because God tells us that we will see him in everything we do. We'll see them in nature. We're going to see them in the universe. Why wouldn't we see them in stories told by anybody? So until you start equipping the people around you to look through that spiritual lens to find God in everything you're doing, I think you're kind of missing a really good opportunity.
Man, that was a really good conclusion. I got distracted by some YouTube video that just opened and start playing. I don't know if you were able to hear anything. No, good. I was concerned for that.
No, I didn't hear you.
Because I left my microphone unmuted, so I'm like, okay, yeah, that was a wonderful conclusion. I'm glad everything is okay with your spouse. I'm grateful you were able to come and do the conclusion. And I'll say that since the end of the year is coming, we'll think hard about next Friday or Saturday night making I want to pick a really good and fun game that we will have this concluding episode of 2024 to be a really interesting one. So I'm thinking about Doom Eternal. I never played it.
Me neither.
But I'm open to other games, but Doom Eternal, oh my gosh, it's like a phenomenal shooting game. I played older Doom games. So I'm thinking about that one, but I may change my opinion. I'll see with PJ. But basically, for you guys who love Bible and who love games, you can expect either next Friday or Saturday for us to cover some epic game, and that will be a very nice conclusion of 2024. Please stay with us, continue subscribing. Please support PJ's Facebook and YouTube page and his work and his in a way that is a ministry because he's using his time, his skills, his energy, his own money to develop all this material that he doesn't sell for the sake of giving God the glory and using his creativity to make something more interesting out there when it comes to the tabletop scene, especially with the religious element. So you have to appreciate anyone who will just do so much work for free. I mean, not many people nowadays would do it. So please support PJ's work.
Appreciate it.
I provided 2 links in the video description. In 2 days, this Sunday, I'm welcoming back Doug, who wants to talk about the unseen realm and spiritual warfare in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I can't wait for that episode.
Yeah, and because I read only Hobbit, I didn't read the trilogy yet. He will be the one. Yes, I have to repent. I know.
I have to log off right now. This friendship is over.
You don't see how I have even more. I have another.
Over, Nico. It's over.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like now, I'm reading C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy. I don't even know sometimes what to pick first because there's so many good books I didn't read all these years. So anyway,
did you at least watch the movies?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I watched it many times.
There's a little bit. I'll give you grace.
Yeah. It's my favorite movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Doug will be the one who'll be speaking more. I'll be like throwing questions or just enjoying him listening, reading the comments and questions from the live from the audience. So yeah, that's coming this Sunday, I believe, in 7 p.m. I'll ask him what time suits him, but usually 7 is okay because we both live in Illinois, so that should be fine. And then the following Sunday, the last Sunday of the year, Amber's coming, and it's funny how she picked also Lord of the Rings theme, but she wants to speak from another aspect. We'll be comparing Lord of the Rings Genesis, how the world came to be, and we'll be covering the Genesis of Lord of the Rings with the Genesis of the Bible, with also deities. So she wants to cover that divine counsel and God's point, and I want to cover how Tolkien created in Silmarillion, how he created his universe versus how the Bible creates in Genesis, how the world came to be. So I want to cover that, and also I have here one of the Plato's books when he spoke about Atlantis, right? So I also want to cover that origin. So it should be a very fun and interesting topic that following Sunday. So yeah, please stay with us. A lot of cool stuff are coming your way. And of course, we'll see what will be happening in January next year. But love you all. Thank you, PJ, also for
Yeah, man.
helping me and being here with us. May God bless you in your ministry, in your home. And for all of you, be safe out there. Merry Christmas. And please continue serving God despite of all your failures, issues, sins, because guess what? All of us are dealing with that. We are not some superhero
Every one of
elite
us.
saints. So please be encouraged when it comes to that part. God bless you. I'll see you in 2 days.
Love y'all.